In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Josh Giddey and what makes him so special and also his future potential. Josh Giddey is one of those types of players that needs to be in the right situation, and I think that OKC is the perfect situation for him. Let's get down and let's check him out. See, the thing with Josh Giddey is he is super patient. He's able to read the defenders that he has, and then he's able to use screens, attack the middle of the paint that collapses many of the defenders onto him. And when he's got teammates who are smart, who cut from the corner to the wing, when you drive on the opposite side of the court towards the high post, you're going to be getting a ton of assists. This just so happens to be a very nice three-point shot. Now, something that I do notice a lot of is the defenders will usually go underneath those screens. Now, this does work for his situation because he's able to get lots of assists this way. But if we rewind and we see that the defenders continue to go underneath those screens, Josh Giddey needs to pull up for a three-point shot because those defenders are not in position. Anytime a defender goes underneath a screen, and I've said this very recently a lot in my videos, you need to pull for a three. If the defender goes over top, that's when you want to drive towards the basket. Now here he notices that he has the advantage because he can continue to drive, draw that post defender, the hedger, so that he can pass to the high post, to the roller. That works for him. That works right now. But if teams start to notice that he's not taking those shots, they're going to let him sit out there. They're not going to be sending the hedge man. The hedge man's going to be staying home. And because of that, this could be an issue, but I can believe that he's going to be really working on his threes anyways. And as we can see here, he can hit those threes. Now, he doesn't exactly have the most perfect form. It's an interesting form, but he's already hit a three-point shot in the NBA, which is at a much earlier age than Simmons. Josh Giddey is, however, very, very smart when it comes to screens. Here he notices that the defender is trying to cut off Giddey from being able to use those screens, and Giddey is very smart. He's able to spin off of this move so that now that defender is out of position to guard him, and he then forces that hedge man who was originally going to be hedging on that screen to defend him. In this case, this center needs to be sitting his butt out here because he's going to be wide open for a three every single time that happens, but it doesn't matter because Josh Giddey's able to get to the rim anyways. Now, just going back to this screen and roll play that we've seen, just the last clip, and that spin move that resulted. I just recently made a video about Kai Soto and how his spin move didn't get him anywhere. This is why. So when you do a spin move, you want to get your foot on the side of the defender where you're spinning. You don't want that spin move foot to land in front of this defender, and here he's able to lock out his defender by getting that foot on the side of him, and also right there getting that elbow locked in either on the upper shoulder or that elbow of that defender. That's going to essentially use that angle so that he cannot block that shot. Josh Giddey's also very good with these one-hand passes, and that's going to be something that we see more and more in the NBA. And of course, when it comes to these one-hand passes, we need to teach our players to do them as well. They're very handy. The good thing with Josh Giddey is he's able to drive on big men, even though he's technically a big man himself. And he's a great ball handler. Here, he's able to draw up multiple defenders, and because of that, he's able to then get that pass into a very smart backdoor cut player who's able to receive that pass and, of course, gets to kick it out, but that could have been a nice layup. Obviously, if that was a bigger player. However, as we can see, Josh Giddey has not given up on this play as of yet. He still moves off ball and got to an open spot so that he can hit a three. Now, he didn't sprint out to that spot, but he was able to continue his movement so that when this player drove towards the basket again, he was able to get that three. And then Josh Giddey, with his height, even though he has a smaller point guard on him, he's able to get to that rim, lock out that defender, and still finish at the rim. Now, how did he lock out that defender? Well, watch his off arm. Watch him right here. He swipes through, he tries to clear out that arm. Then he brings his arm forward again, and he then moves that arm back again, keeping the distance between himself and the defender. And if the defender decided to get close and ride his hip, then he would be locking him out totally, and there would be no way for the defender to be able to do anything. So the defender's actually not doing too bad of a job because he's trying to keep his distance so that he doesn't get locked. Now, when Josh Giddey gets to the rim, look, he angles his body in because that defender was originally giving him space, and Josh Giddey wants to lock him out so that he's unable to get that block. And because he was able to angle in, get his shoulder into the defender's shoulder, we can see that right here where he's able to get that shoulder in and basically lock out that defender from being able to jump up and block the shot. If that defender jumped and went vertical, it would have been a foul. But Josh Giddey was able to finish with a nice simple right-hand layup because he was able to do those things. And by the way, you don't need anything special. All you need is a jab cross to be able to beat most players. Now, this may be just a very simple move, but he does something special to it. When he does this crossover, he makes it look like he's going to either make that pass or drive towards the basket on that side. He wants to attack that top foot, so what he does is he then jabs towards that side, and then he crosses that ball over. It gets Valanciunas basically in a bad position, and he's able to get past him without that many dribbles, only really one. And what a nice shot. Right leg, right arm, and he's able to get that past Giannis. And let's not forget his ability to run the floor, being able to get to that rim, stretch out, and finish. And he has range. Like, this is almost logo range, and he's able to bang those with a defender in his face. So overall, Josh Giddey is a very good player. He actually looks very similar to Simmons. However, Josh Giddey has a much better looking shooting form at a younger age. He's hit more threes at a younger age, and he just looks overall better if you look at a potential of 5 to 10 years down the road. I think Josh Giddey could be a very, very strong player who could easily average a 20-point, maybe a 10 rebound, and potentially 10 assist career, or at least season at his peak. Now, these are obviously optimistic numbers, but from what I'm seeing at this point in time, he could potentially be a 20, 10, and 10 player for at least 1, 2, or even 3 years if he continues to develop and if he gets into a situation where he could be a main guy on a team. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.